Flosstube, Stephanie here, Ms. Oh So Crafty. Today is Tuesday, May 1st. Happy May Day. Hello again, or welcome if you're new. So today what I'm going to do is talk about my stitching during April and do a preview of my Maynia starts. Maynia actually starts today. I have quite a few projects to share. I also have some gifts and a little bit of haul, so let's get started. So when I saw you guys last, I was working on Water Goddess. I'll be right back. So I worked on Water Goddess for 5 days. I will insert a picture of what it's supposed to look like and what it looked like before. I'm stitching this on Whirlpool Belfast from Picture This Plus. So here's my current progress. Basically what I did is I worked on the bottom right page, her dress, that just goes on for days. And I did finish that except for the Krynic. And then I worked across the page break, which is right about there. And I extended into the bottom left a bit. I finished all the purples, and the bottom left page is a lot smaller than over here. Her dress it comes down right around there and goes to there, and then there's a little bit more lily pads that go around, but it's nowhere near as big as this, so I'm hoping it won't take that long. I've got 10 days of progress on this so far since, well, this year, and that's basically since I started. Since last year when I started it, I just put in like 100 stitches, so that hardly counts. Anyway, so this is coming along, and I really love working on it. These colors are just amazing. They're some of my favorites, the greens and the blues and the purples, so it's a lot of fun, and this is my last of the Elemental Goddess pieces, so yeah, very beautiful project, and I look forward to working on it again in a few months, maybe, or actually this month. That's part of my Maynia activities, but we'll get into that later. After Water Goddess, it was time for my spooky rotation, so I started with Kitty Club by Lizzie Kate. And I did the spider line, spiders. I'm stitching this on 32 count dirty Belfast, and spiders only took 1 day to stitch, although these little spider legs nearly did me in. Some of them are just like done over 1 stitch, and they're just rather fiddly, and these 2 are empty because there's going to be black buttons in there. So here's the piece so far: Spooky Treats Black Cat Spiders. And I'm just doing 1 word per month. So that was fun. I did enjoy the spider web a lot. That was cool. Now, this piece is such a nice little respite from some of my BAPs. Like this one, for example. So the other part of my spooky rotation is the Spooky House by X's and O's, Sandra Farlow. And I'm stitching this on. I want to sort of pick out what it's supposed to look like and what it looked like before. Here is my current progress. Sorry about all the part threads. This thing has an awful lot of color changes. So this is stitched on Thunderstorm Belfast by Vintage Silk Weaver. What I did this time, gosh, trying to remember. Well, I think I finished up the moon over here on this side. I worked across the page break to where it touches the tree on the next page. This is the page break right here, that line. And then I came back over, I finished this little gravestone with the shadow behind it. It's going to need some backstitch too. I think it says RIP or something on it. There's a bunch of gravestones in this pattern, and they all have cute little sayings on them. Like buried in Ted or something, or I don't know. We'll get there. Anyway, so I worked on the grass over to the page break on the left side, and then I started working up a little bit. So I did some of the stonework and the steps and the door, the torches, and the little portico roof above this arch. So the page break over here is just about there. So page 1 is almost done. I might be able to finish it. I don't know if I'm going to finish it this month because this project is not going to get as much time with Maynia and everything, but certainly by mid-year I should be able to get this page finished. And the other pages aren't as bad as this one, so I mean they're not full coverage like this, and they don't have as much detail and things. So the only thing about this page though is it is missing some stitches, like for example these like little lights and some of the stitches in the torch. Those are supposed to be done in Krynic, a couple different colors of Krynic. So I might have them in my stash. I just haven't took them out yet. I've only been working with the moon color, which I actually sub PB10 for the Krynic for that. So, and it also appears in this window over here. Yeah, so this piece, big project. Really lovely detail though. Very atmospheric. And I love the fabric I'm stitching it on. I think it's perfect. Actually, since I finished the boot club in only one day, I had an extra day in my rotation, so I decided to work on the mini mandala by Esther Franken, Brodeurs Bresson, Sal. So what I did is, this was the April block right here. I stitched that in a day. It might have taken a little bit longer, but I was about 3/4 of the way done, and I sent a picture to my friend who's also stitching it, and she was at the same spot, and she proposed a race. So we, I couldn't resist, you know. So we both put our phones down and started stitching, and we finished at like the same second. That was pretty cool. About 20 minutes later or whatever. And by that point, I think it was close to midnight. So this is the piece so far. I decided to put this piece, this mandala in the May slot because of the flowers. When I think of May, I think flowers. And I see a lot of flowers in that mandala. It was pretty intensive as far as the stitching went, more so than I think any of the others. You can see kind of how it's dense. But I do like how it turned out. And it's coming along. I just checked this morning and saw what was the new design that was released for May, and I think I'm actually going to put it over here in the March slot. Because it reminds me of a honeycomb, and when I think of March, I think the beginning of spring, bees and stuff like that. So, yeah. This piece is a lot of fun to stitch, and I'm excited to see how it works out as I get more mandalas in there. So in the end, there's going to be 12, and they're all going to be connected the way these two are. All right, moving on to Charm Santa. So Charm Santa got my last free rotation for the month of April, and I wanted to do it for the full coverage Fanatics stitch along, the water theme, the elemental water theme, because There's snow on this piece, and snow is frozen water, right? So I will insert a pic of what it looked like before and what it's supposed to look like when it's finished. So here is my current progress. This is stitched on 32 count raw gold Belfast. Look at that sparkle. What I did, I gave it 5 days. I meant to give it 6, but I decided to give myself a break because I basically reached my goal. So I worked on the center section across both pages, filled in some of the sky, did this little puppet doll and the ball and the sack of apples up to the midline, and then I worked with the threads I had parked at the midline to finish up the apples in the sack. And then I pulled a bunch more floss and started working on this page over here, which has the toy bag. So there's like a little bear and a boat, a horse, and a doll where the threads are parked. So that section on the chart is just crazy looking. It has all these fractionals and color changes and backstitching galore. It was very intimidating when I first looked at it, you know, when I started the project. So it was great to just do it and get it over with. I mean, it's not complete. There's a little bit of like greenery and stuff that needs to go throughout it, but at least the toys are done. For like, give an example. You see that little red bow on the teddy bear? Well, there's not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 shades in that little bow. Yeah, pretty crazy. And once I got that done, I decided to work around the sky a little bit to sort of finish that section off. So I did some sky, and of course I worked on Santa's sleeve and all that, and his toy bag. I think I did these 2 leaves as well. So there's supposed to be a metallic border that goes all around here, the whole piece. It's like a border with blending filament and then a solid, you know, metallic border. I think it calls for some DMC fiber, but I will just be using Cryonex 002 HL because you need something really sparkly to show up on this because the fabric's so sparkly, you know. I guess I'll be using the HL blending filament as well. And of course there's back stitching to do too. I kind of had a little moment of trepidation when I just started working on page 3 without doing any of the back stitching on the bottom because there is a lot of back stitching to go on this piece. So next time I take it out, I think what I'm going to do is just mount the bottom half of it on the scroll frame and work on the borders and the back stitch. And then if I manage to finish that on the bottom half, proceed with the top half. But honestly, I feel like having finished that confetti-tastic nightmare toy sack, the rest of this should be pretty smooth sailing. I mean, the top of the piece is like right there. So, you know, all I need to do really is, of course, Santa's face and everything over here and more sky and all that stuff. But I think I should be able to finish it this year. That's the Charm Santa by Sandy Orton. Well, I mean, it's called Father Christmas in the book. I call it Charm Santa because it has like, well, you're supposed to put charms on it. There's like a nutcracker charm and a boat charm and different things like that. So I'm going to have to source those. Okay, the next up was Winnie the Pooh. So this pattern is by MCG Textiles. I am doing a DMC conversion on it. I will insert a pic of what it's supposed to look like and what it looks like before. Here is my current progress. What I did is I just worked on over here. I finished 2 columns. Took me 3 days, so it was like 1,400 stitches or something because one of the columns was partially finished already. And there is one missing stitch right there. That's like, it's just a color that's not used anywhere else in the area, so I didn't pull it. I'll have to rectify that soon or whatever. So I'm pretty excited about this piece because coming up will be more character detail. So there's going to be Tigger and Piglet in the background. They're stitched over one, and then there's Eeyore and Rabbit. They are stitched over two in the foreground. So that'll be fun to get to. I don't know how much I'm going to get to this year. I think I should at least be able to work back over to where Pooh is. Finish up Pooh. This is another piece where I really need to do some back stitching. There's back stitching to do on the top half. I mean, it's not exactly extensive, but it's like tree branches and stuff like that. And there may be someone, I think there's someone Pooh in the balloon and stuff. So yeah, I really should get on it. Winnie the Pooh. I recently learned that Heaven and Earth Designs has acquired the rights to Thomas Kinkade. This is Thomas Kinkade's artwork, Disney Dreams collection. So I don't know if the Disney Dreams collection is part of the deal that Haid got, but yeah, this is a rather detailed artwork, the original one. And there are certain elements in this piece that when I look at the picture on the pattern, I'm like, what is that? For example, the badger, or whatever he is, that'll be over here, and then there's like little toys and stuff that are by the door of the treehouse. So I don't know how those are going to look in the end. They might be kind of indistinct. Maybe I can clean them up with some backstitch or over one stitching, or I don't know. I'll have to figure it out, but I mean, realistically, even if Haid does chart this piece, it would probably be so big, so many stitches that to finish it would just require so much time, years of my life. So I will have to content myself with this version. And I do think it looks really good. So yeah, it's too bad that MCG, I mean, I'm no fan of like the MCG textiles fabrics. I had to switch out the fabric that came with this kit because the even weave was not even. But they did do really nice adaptations of the Thomas Kinkade work. So in that sense, it's sad that they're out of print and all that. And I didn't manage to collect all the ones I wanted. I missed out on Beauty and the Beast. I think I got all the other ones I wanted, so maybe I'll be able to pick it up someday. Winnie the Pooh. And then it was the 25th of the month, so it was time for Christmas stitching, and I pulled out my Mill Hill Christmas Village. I started St. Nicholas Cathedral, and that's that one right there, here. So I worked on this 3 days, and that was enough to get it ready for beading, basically. I even did the back stitch, which was minor, just like on the windows. This does not have a great number of colors. That certainly helped with the progress. It was like 10 or 11 shades of DMC. That's it. And, well, there was Krynic in it, so I think you might be able to see it in the windows. You can probably see it easiest in this one up there. So that's 5 shades of Krynic. There was ruby and a pink color, a green, purple, and what was the other one? I don't remember. Just trust me, there were 5 colors. Did I mention gold? Yeah. Yeah, 5 colors of Krynic number 8 braid. And it was kind of difficult doing that stitching, getting them neat and everything, but I think I did okay. And I love the way that piece looks. The cathedral, I think it looks fantastic in that position, which is kind of near the center of this piece, or what will be the center. And I do intend to work on this month after Maynia and hopefully get in 3 days, and who knows, that might even be enough to finish it. We'll see. This isn't really scheduled for a finish until next month, but you know, if I finish it this month, that wouldn't be bad. And I'm stitching this on 28 count Stormy Gray Jobelin, hand dyed by Witchelt. Obviously switched out the perforated paper that came in the kit. So the tree farm is up there in the corner. Next door is the toy shop, then the bookseller, and then starting on the bottom, there's the apothecary below the tree shop and the general store, and then finally the St. Nicholas Cathedral. And of course my snowflake border. This is just something that I found online in like a Google image search, very simple thing. I couldn't find where it was from or whatever. It's probably just generated by someone on their computer. Yeah, so a lot of fun to stitch. Loving this piece. The bigger it gets, the more I like it. So. Mill Hill Christmas Village. They're all like individual kits, and I'm stitching 12 of them together on one piece of fabric. There is a Sal group on Facebook for this project. It's called Mill Hill Christmas Village, if anybody wants to look us up. So we've got a couple dozen members and lots of pretty stitching on there. So, all right, one more whip. So it was my, sorry, Flosstube Itchy Nose. It was my bonus days at the end of the month. It was Stitchathon weekend. So I gave this 4 days, I think, in all. I will insert a pic of what it's supposed to look like and what it looked like before. So this is the Enchanting Mermaid by Mira Belia. It's stitched on my own hand-dyed Monaco, which I did with teal and evening blue, low immersion. Double, two-step process. Yeah, so this one, what I did is I took out the Krynic. There's actually 3 shades of Krynic in this right now, and there will ultimately be 4 shades in this piece. I did all the Krynic over here in this like off-white color, and then I did the green, which is there, and there, and then there. And I did the blue, which is all throughout her fin. And that was fun to stitch, because there's all these like holes left in the stitching, and some of them were for the Krynic, and some of them are for beading, so basically I just used a highlighter and highlighted everything I had to stitch. And I worked more on her fin over here. I actually just started working down from the top of the chart, and then I stalled here because this part is just a lot of like, it's not exactly confetti stitching, but it's almost like I will need to work with a few different colors simultaneously to like do it to minimize chances of mistakes or whatever, just because it's like a patch of this color and a patch of that color and so forth. And then I worked on the end of her tail down here. These long rows of stitches that cut across the page. My working copy is what I mean. So yeah, they cut across the midline of the pattern, and they're very long rows. I just wanted to get to the point where I didn't have to reference 2 pages, you know, at one time to stitch. And I think I did that. There is a little bit more that has to go down here, but it's metallic, so I'll worry about that later, I guess. I just have to work that around basically. There's not too much, I guess, to do left on the bottom half, aside from beading. But she's just a big pattern. There's a lot of stitches in there. A lot more than you typically have on a Mirabilia mermaid. I think she's pretty spectacular though, especially with the Kreinik in there. She's going to look amazing when she's beaded. This piece is heavily beaded. Enchanted Mermaid, I do plan to work on her more this month. Probably going to take her to the retreat with me. So that's it for my whips. I guess I'll mention the retreat quickly. So the Flosstube New Jersey retreat is coming up in about 2.5 weeks time, and I am going with my friend Christine and Jessie Marie. Hi Jessie, from Flosstube. So that'll be fun, and I can't wait. I think what I'm going to do is take Enchanted Mermaid and my Lord's Prayer piece, which are, Lord's Prayer is my focus for finish this month in May, and maybe one of my Maynia starts. So let's get into Maynia. I think what I'll do is I'll insert a pic of this little geeky calendar that I made myself to keep organized here. Okay, so this is my expandable file, which I use for stitching, or, well, for Maynia, basically. My first start is going to be the Bird of Happiness by Riolus. I will start this today, tonight, whatever. So this comes with anchor floss. It is very nicely pre-sorted. There's actually 3 of these cards, but I'm not going to take them all out. Most of it's meant to be stitched with 3 strands over 1. This is 14 count Ada. I guess it's Zweigart because it has this orange on the selvage. It's obviously been starched a lot though, so it's pre-printed, obviously, the background, and there's a little cross on it right there, you can see, and that matches with the there's the same marking on the chart, so that's basically where you start stitching. So you count out the phoenix, but you don't stitch any of the background. I'm hoping this won't be too difficult to stitch. Stick the needle through, it's not terrible, I guess. I mean, the fact that it's 14 count definitely helps, versus like a super stiff starchy Ada that's 16 or 18 would be a lot more difficult to get the needle through. Yeah, I can't wait to get this started. I've been looking forward to stitching it for a very long time, since I bought it like last year, I think. Well, my plan is to work on that for 4 days, and at the same time, what I shall do is tomorrow on the 2nd, I'm going to work on the Lord's Prayer by Stony Creek, and on the 3rd, Thursday, I will work on Enchanted Mermaid, which you saw a minute ago. On the 4th, Friday, I will work on Charm Santa, which you also saw a minute ago. And then on Saturday, my plan is to start this little penguin orney from Stony Creek. Isn't that cute? I'm going to personalize it for my son. I'm planning to use this fabric for it, 28 count white Monaco. And I did make a little note about the colors that I need. So there's like 10 or 12 colors for this tiny little penguin. That's Stony Creek for you. I'm hoping that'll be like a one-day project. So the other thing I guess I'll mention is this Saturday is my Stitchy meetup at the library. And it's going to be an all-day meetup, 10 to 5, so it's going to be like a mini retreat. And I'm really looking forward to that. So I'm definitely going to take more than one project. So even though that is the only thing I had planned to work on that Saturday, maybe I'll work on my Phoenix some more, or who knows. And then moving on to the Sunday, the 6th, my plan is to work on We Do Disney by Stitchline. I will insert a pic of the pattern photo and also a pic of my floss toss. So I'm going to be using this fabric here. This is 28 count black Monaco. And as you could see from the floss toss, doing rainbow colors for it, even though it's only charted in black. So basically it's charted in black, meant to be stitched on white. I'm stitching it in a bunch of different colors on black. And I chose those colors, so each line is from a different movie, and I chose those colors to sort of represent the various movies. At least how they, I think the colors go with the movies in my head anyway. So I'm going to work on that for 4 days, and at the same time on the 7th, the Monday, I'm going to work on Water Goddess. I think what I'm probably going to do is work on some of the metallic, there's like these long lines of water that are meant to be stitched all around her dress at the bottom in like one shade of Krynic, and I did buy some of that Krynic recently, so I'll do that. And then on the 8th, I'll work on my Trick or Treat Fairy, which is by Nora Corbett. I haven't touched that in a very long time, not since like last October, I think, or September. And then on the 9th, I'll work on Fall Fairy, which I haven't worked on since January, I think. That piece is just, well, it's a finished goal for this year, and I really need to work on it. It just hasn't happened very much so far this year. So, and then on the 10th, my plan is to start Eek Creepy by Lizzie Kate. And that's basically like, I already started Eek. There's an E there, so it's going to be sort of like a restart, I guess. But I'll work more on the border to make up for it. It's going to be Eek with a frog. And that's the only project I'll work on the 10th, because I do want to finish it if at all possible. And then on the 11th, I'll continue on if necessary, and then I'll also spend some time on Spooky House, which I showed you a few minutes ago. I don't know what I'm going to do with Spooky House on that day. Maybe I'll just I don't know. I'll have to look at the chart and maybe work with some black or something or whatever. I'll figure it out. And then on the 12th, the Saturday, I will work on the mini mandala. For May, as I mentioned, it's like a honeycomb pattern. It's going to go right there. And then on the 13th, I will have another new start. It's going to be this piece, the Gingerbread Cottage by Mill Hill. Tiny little ornament on perforated paper. I don't think I'll necessarily be able to finish this in one day, but hopefully I'll be able to get a good start on it. It doesn't really have, you can see the colors and the beads. Yeah, we'll see how far I get. It will be a weekend, it's Sunday, so maybe I'll have more stitching time, or maybe not. And then to finish up Maynia, on the 14th, I'll work on my Winnie the Pooh piece, as you saw. I don't know what I'm going to do. Probably just get a start on that next column and aim for like a few hundred stitches. And then on the 15th, I'll work on the Mill Hill Village. So start beading my St. Nicholas Cathedral, and I'll insert the calendar again. So That makes 15 projects total in 15 days. 9 whips, 6 new starts. That's the plan, and I will vlog it, and depending on how much footage I have, I might upload the first part after week 1, or I might wait until I have 2 weeks of footage. We'll see. Alright, that's it for Maynia. And then I guess I'll get into my haul and gifts now. So I placed an order with my birthday discount from Dreama at Needlecraft Corner, and I got this Celestial Sleigh by Mill Hill. This is part of a series. I love all of them. I have a few of them already. I think I have the vintage and the traditional or something, or maybe the Toyland. I did not have this one, and I wanted it because I love the colors. Okay, the rest of the goodies I got from Dreama include this Krynic blending filament. This is the 100 color, bright white or whatever. So I'm going to be using this for my Lord's Prayer piece. And then I got some Krynic number 4 braid in this blue color, 194. This is for Water Goddess. And some blue beads. Those are for Water Goddess, I think. And some PV10. And that sparkly white, that's the thread I'm using for the moon on my Spooky House piece. And I think I might actually use this for the moon on the Water Goddess as well. It's just, I mean, it's easier to work with than Krynic is, and the moon is like a lot of stitching on the Water Goddess, so I might actually use this for the moon too, and then buy more for Spooky House later. And then I placed an order with 123 because I had a gift card from my friend burning a hole in my pocket, so I got this pattern, Darcy by John Clayton. Lady in green with a harp. I love this. I think her face is kind of strange though. I don't know. I have to stitch it and see. And I don't know. This whole pattern I think is rather pixelated, so I'm probably going to be adding some fractionals just to smooth out the lines a little bit, like on her dress and stuff. Especially around like her skin area, definitely. But I think this is really beautiful, and it is very elegant. I love harps, and my favorite color is green. Yeah, I saw this in advertised in a Cross Stitch Gold magazine, which I get on the Zinio app, so I wanted it. And then I got this one, Antique Celtic Sampler by Elizabeth Needleworks Designs. I love this. Anything Celtic really is my cup of tea. I think that's cool. And I love the colors that it's worked in. I might try to sub. I think the hand-dyed floss definitely looks very good for this, but I might try to sub what I have in my stash versus buying, 8 skeins a week Styleworks or whatever that they call for. And then I got something from Stash Unload. This is, oh, sorry, upside down. Thea Gouverneur America. It was $25. I couldn't resist for that price. I've long coveted these huge charts by Thea Gouverneur. Taya? I don't know. Anyway, I actually like the London one better, but for $25, I couldn't say no to America. And I do live in America after all. That'll be a lot of fun to stitch one of these days. It is pretty big. It's 10 pages. And it comes with this massive piece of, I think it's 18 count Aida. a nice enough fabric. I'll probably use it. And it's meant to be stitched with one strand of thread, which I'm going to have to do because if I'm going to use that floss, it probably doesn't have enough floss to do it all, two over one. So hopefully it'll look okay. I've always done 2 over 1 on 18 count, so but it'll just have like a nice delicate appearance, I guess. And then I was lucky enough to receive a few wonderful gifts. This one was from Swanky Sim. Thank you so much, Sim. It's actually a kit by Donna Vermilion Giampa, Bluebirds and Dogwood. Isn't that pretty? I love Dogwood. And the bluebirds. This could actually be like a scene from where I live. There's a lot of dogwood trees around here. And bluebirds too. And then I received a wonderful gift from Diana. It is Kismet, a project bag. Isn't it pretty? It's got this cool print with unicorns and castles. I love that. And the clear vinyl front. And a zipper with a ribbon pull. This is really fun. I like how it has the vinyl on the front so you can see what's inside it. Thank you so much, Diana. I love it. And thank you so much, Sim, for the bluebirds and dogwoods. That's really pretty too. Okay, I do think that's it for my haul. And I think that's it for me for today. Well, I will be checking in later to do my vlog for Maynia when I get started with the Phoenix, the bird of happiness. So I will see you guys very soon. Good luck with Maynia, everybody. Have fun. Don't let it drive you too crazy. And if you're participating, if not, I just hope you enjoy the month of May, spring for us here in the Northern Hemisphere. It's actually pretty nice outside. Short sleeves, yeah.